Nice to see you all. I think one sir from Bangladesh has not joined us. Sir, have you joined? I think he has not joined. Okay, no issues. Okay, so on behalf of All India Educator Forum and a Global Teacher Forum, I welcome you all. And today we will talk about evaluation of education actually. So that's our topic, and we are going to be a 1 hour extreme great session discussing about so many topics. So these are this eminent speaker, and we have a Dr. Inga Karchleva, who is a welcome speaker, and I would like to welcome Ms. Ritika Anand from India, Professor Dr. Nada Ratkovic from Croatia, Professor Dr. Mahmudul Hassan from Bangladesh, Vilma de Las Barbosa from Brazil, and Rania Lampau ma'am from Greece. So on behalf of GTF, I welcome, and GFC, I welcome you all. So let's discuss about the now, an education evaluation is a threshold like never. A lot has been talked about a digitalization in this field. In the last 2 years, it's now right time to revisit purpose of education in a human life. Never-ending journey with a motivate peace, spreading love, communal or coexistence, and progress is what re-explore in this minute. Eminent educationists from all across the world connect us and share our thoughts. So this will be the agenda or schedule for this. Opening remarks by Dr. Inga Karchleva from Georgia. SDG for Quality Education by Vilma da La Barbosa. Inclusive Education by Professor Dr. Mahmudul Hassan from Bangladesh. Digitalization of Education by Professor Dr. Nada Ratkovic, Croatia. Education for Peace, Ms. Ritika Anand, India. Value Education by Rania Lampau ma'am from Greece, and then we will end up the session. Now, let's welcome our first guest speaker or welcome speaker. She is an executive director and CEO of Global Friends Club, that is GFC, and the global executive leader from Continental Director Europe for Global Education Network. She is also a coordinator of Positive Thoughts. She is a college teacher of geography and basic entrepreneurship. She teaches Shorpani and Kavitli Public School in Just Pony. She is also the trainer of Junior Achievement Georgia Software. She is an international advisor and international coordinator for Positive Thoughts and Consulting Training Solution also. President of Georgia Global Education Network, Gen Leader for Georgia. Dr. Inga professional goal is to motivate her student to become successful, and her hobbies are gardening and being nature where she can feel calm. Thank you, Dr. Inga. So over to you. You welcome everyone so that we can start the session. Over to you, Dr. Inga.
Yes, thank you very much. Hello. I am very happy to see you. Good evening. Yes, I am Inga Karchleva from Georgia, and Executive Director of Global Friends Club, and Executive Leader and Continental Director of Europe of Global Education Network, and also an International Advisor and International Coordinator of Positive Thoughts Consulting and Training Solutions. Okay? I am very glad to be here for this session and look forward to hearing from all of our eminent speakers on the topic of education evolution, which is a really important issue in today's education system. Greetings to all our esteemed speakers at our important session. Thank you for their enthusiasm, and amazing work. It is it you who are the right folks who are fighting to solve education. Thanks again for this gesture. Thank you very much.
Namaskar.
And of course, welcome all participants who have joined from many countries around the world. We have an amazing webinar waiting for us. Thanks, God. Thank you. And of course, welcome, Mr. Namit Gupta, sir. You are doing an important job for the society, and I always want to wish you success. Keep up a shining. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you also, Mr. Akazali, founder of Global Friends Club, who is also fighting to improve Eminent. Keep up the good work. Wish you all the best. Thank you all of you again. Please, Navid Gupta, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful words. Thank you. Matthew sir, I would like to say a few words and then we can directly start the session. Matthew sir, want to listen to you.
It's always a pleasure to be among global educators, and I want to congratulate Naveen sir for bringing in together so many educators across the world. It's not an easy job to do a session when we do a global event because of the timing factor, and there are so many things involved. So it is a pleasure that the All India Educators Forum and the Global Educators Forum, along with so many other organizations like the GFC and other organizations which Naveen sir is in contact with, has collaborated with us for this event. So I'm grateful that all of you are here and sparing your valuable time, because time is the greatest resource that anybody can give. So thank you so much for your time, and the main thing is that you are empowering others by giving your time. So thank you so much, and I hope this best wishes from my side for the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the kind words. So now we'll directly start with the session, and I would like to invite our first speaker, by giving her a brief introduction. She is a global leader as well. So welcome to all the speakers once again. So I would like to welcome once again Vilma da Lu Barbosa is an international English teacher from Brazil, a global educator, international speaker and moderator. She is part of many international organizations because she is passionate about learning and sharing. She believes education is the key to change the world. Welcome, ma'am. Over to you, and I would like to thank and congratulate to being a South America global leader for the Global Educator Network as well. Over to you, Vilma, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning from Brazil. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure being here among all of these amazing teachers and professionals from education. It's a great pleasure. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the evolution of education. This topic is a very important thing, and we have to talk about that. We have to think about that. In fact, this week I was in my English classes with my students, and then we were practicing conversational activities, and then they had many topics to talk about, and one of them was education. And then I asked one of my students, she is in high school first year, and I asked her, what's your opinion about education? And she looked at me and told me, I think it is useless. And then I asked her, useless? Why do you think it is useless? And then she told me, well, you may become angry with me, but I'm telling you what, in my school, I feel that everything that I learned today, I want to be able to use it for my life. I can't use the things teachers teach me at school in my real life. sometimes I am there and I don't know why I am there exactly. And then I started thinking, she is right, isn't she? We talk a lot about education, how to improve our education, the evolution of education. And if we think how education was 30 years ago, there was the teacher in front of the students, the students were in rows, one in front of the other, the teacher was in front of them, teaching them, they were supposed to be quiet, paying attention in their teachers, they were there with their books, the teacher was writing on the board, they were copying. And what about today? How is it? Guys, it is exactly the same way it was 30 years ago. Of course, now we have the technology and all this stuff, we have our cell phones and this kind of things, but are teachers using them on the classrooms? Or we're having our classes the same way it was 30 years ago? Teenagers are different these days. Kids are different these days. They are smarter, they are much more intelligent because they are learning every day, every time, all day, all the time. And then our teachers are there teaching in front of kids like they were taught 30 years ago. So what are we calling evolution for education? Have we done that, the real evolution? Have we taught our kids with real evolution, or are we teaching our kids the same way we were taught many, many years ago? So it's time to think, and it's time to do in a different way, because our kids and our teenagers, they are, sometimes they know much more than we know, because they are in front of the cell phones, in front of their computers all the time. And in school these days, they are told they can't even use the cell phone. Why? We teachers, we could use the cell phone, we could use the technology in our classroom to bring it a more different way for them to learn. We could make it more interactive, more effective for them. So we could and we should use the technology. Now, because of the pandemic, I know we are using the technology, but kids, we were online, but now kids are in school again. And in my school, we were told that kids can't use the cell phone, and I was one of them that were there fighting and arguing that because I believe that we should use our cell phones, use some apps, and bring the technology to our classroom. We should bring the evolution of education in order our students learn it in a more inspiring way. And also I was thinking why some teachers and why most of teachers are still teaching the way they used to teach some years ago. And I found out that because the government, unfortunately, is not preparing our teachers to work with our students. The teachers don't have a good salary, unfortunately, and then we have to work 60 hours per week, 80 hours per week. Are you teachers in another countries like we are here in Brazil? Working 80 hours per week, working day and night, and then we are always tired because we have to work morning, afternoon, and night, and we don't have time for our kids at home because when we get home we are exhausted, unfortunately. Why we have to do that? Because we don't have a good salary. And then the government should pay teachers more, should prepare the teachers to be better teachers. Because if we are prepared, if we have a good salary, and if we work in a different way with our students, they will learn better. And I know that there are lots of teachers out there, and I am trying to help other teachers as well, teaching them, helping them with different ways of teaching, because I believe we have to prepare our kids today for the future. We have to teach our kids, and we have to prepare them for life. Because as my students said, in schools, unfortunately today, they are not being prepared for life. And this is something that I get really worried about, because we have to teach our kids, we have to teach them how to care about the others, we have to teach them how to value their family, the environment, and this is what ONU and other organizations when they bring go for quality education. What is the quality education? Preparing teachers to be better teachers, and this way we're going to have a better education. But for that we have to work everyone together. We have to change our schools. I don't know how it is in your countries, but in my country, it is going slow and slow and slow. We have to work hard for that. And unfortunately, many teachers out there, they are not worried about that because their salary is not good. So why will they worry about that? Some of them just want to go inside their classrooms, be there for 1 hour and go away running because they are tired of that. They don't care about the students. And if they don't care about the students, unfortunately, students won't care about their learning. They won't learn in a good way. That's why I understand that these kind of platforms, these events, these webinars that we have had is really, really important because this way we are kind of inspiring other teachers to do in a different way. I know that the salary is not good. I know that it's hard. Sometimes we don't have our help from the school staff, but we have to do in a different way. And you are not alone out there. And then we have to have our hands together and learn together, improve ourselves together. Because if I do my part here in Brazil, Inga does her part in Georgia, and if you do your part in India, if each of us help other teachers around us, for sure we're going to have a better education. And if we have a better education, we're going to have a better future because our kids are our future. And then our future depends on the way we are educating our kids today. So let's worry about them, let's care about them. It's really important that we show our kids that we love them, that we care about them, that we are there for them. Because the most important thing is that we treat our students as human beings. Sometimes we think that they are there because we have to teach them and they have to learn, and we don't stop and listen to them. Let's stop and listen to our kids. Sometimes they have problems at home, they have problems with their families and friends, and sometimes we are so worried about just using the activities from the book and we don't stop to listen to them. It's really important. Let's listen to our kids. Let's listen what they think about our education, because like my student says, she thinks it's useless, and in a way I had to agree with her. She is right. It's useless. What is education helping her? I try to manage the thing, but I try to show her that she can learn and she has to believe in herself. Even if she has teachers who don't worry or don't care, I am there for her and I will help her whatever she needs. And it was an interesting conversation because I realized she understood that I am there because I care about her. And then in a way I was helping her to change her idea a little bit. And she understood that studying is really important because if she studies, she will have a better future and maybe a better job and maybe a better life. So education is really important and we have to take care about that. That's all from me. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much for a wonderful words, and I believe that that is a situation everywhere in the world wherein teachers are overburdened. You have rightly kicked off the point wherein we say that teachers are the overburden across the world, and after the pandemic, everyone worked very hard to reach out to the student, to go beyond the curriculum and beyond the books. We have touched the student and we worked very, very hard. And as you said, the collaborative approach that these kind of webinars definitely help them, and we need to learn from each other what is the best in all across the world to promote the SDG quality for education. So I believe that is the main key pointers wherein we are sharing our knowledge. So let's move towards the next speaker of the day. She is Professor Dr. Mohammad Mahmudul Hassan, Principal, Daffodil International School, Dhaka, from Bangladesh, Adjunct Professor, Bangladesh University of Bangladesh. I hope, sir, you are here. Sir, can you switch on your Camera, I can't see you, sir. You are here. You have just joined. I think I made you presenter as well. Oh, sir. Now you can switch on your camera, please. I hope you can switch on the camera now. Again. Okay. Now we can. I think you are going to. Oh yeah, I can see you now. Welcome, sir. At last you are joined.
And this and very smiling all the faces and efficient faces you are here today.
Okay.
I'm really feeling very honored to become here for having very small discussions and which definitely the topics which have been selected. These are very effective and important for all the teachers and educators. So by this time, I really enjoyed Vilma's lecture, and it was excellent, and otherwise she is also very effective speaker, and I believe we have learned a lot. So I will discuss, if you allow me, I can share my screen. So
Yeah, sure. You can share, sir. Now you can share.
Yes, thank you so much. Just a few minutes, allow a few minutes for me.
No issue, sir.
Okay, I think my screen is visible to all of you.
It will be visible in a second. It will be. It's a blank now. Oh yeah, it's visible. It's visible, sir.
Yes. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. It's coming. Okay, without any introduction, I congratulate all the speakers and the audience, and especially Naveen, and for his outstanding moderations, and which definitely touches my heart. And the way I will present today, that is a very important topic for me, also for all the people. This is the reality of our locality, especially in every institutions. This is happening. That's why the topic has been selected: inclusive education. Inclusive education, you understand what is the inclusive education. By this time, you can tell me about myself. I will not describe about that one, but that is not important as well. So inclusive education, many of you, rather all of you know what is inclusive education. That means the education where all kinds of the learners may be included, irrespective of the gender, irrespective of the ability, disability. This is called inclusive education. If I go through all the discussion, then it will take time. So since time is framed within 10 minutes, so I should complete within the 10 minutes. So in our word, inclusive education means the education is the model where all the students, regardless of their ability, learn together in one environment. I mean, in our classroom, that means all kinds of the children can be sitting together and they can learn. They can continue their academic activities in the schools or any special environment. That is the inclusive education. And if I go, what is the aim of the education? The aim of the inclusive education is to ensure that all students are treated fairly and get equal opportunities. I think there are lots of examples in all the institutions. You will find some students are very disabled, some students are very problematic, some students are very poor, some students are very rich, not elite families. So there are lot kind of the students are there studying. So the aim should be all students should be treated equally and very fairly. All opportunities should be given equally to each and every student. If someone is disabled, so he or she has to be given the same opportunity the way the able students are enjoying and achieving this one. Then how many types are the inclusive education? You know, full inclusion, then partial inclusion, and mainstreaming inclusion. This is full inclusion means where without any kind of the barrier, the all kind of the children can sit together and they can learn what is the education. They can equally enjoy the opportunities offered by the schools or by the authority. Then partial inclusion, this teaching model is also built around allowing additional support outside the classroom. I think you can understand that means the partial means something is in the classroom and some special thing can be given to the outside the classroom. And mainstream means is the as usual modern and established structural classroom where all kind of the people can be connected, can be linked with the main classroom environment. These are mainstreaming classrooms. If I go to key features of the inclusive class education, all students, the features of all students have an equal right to education. Classrooms should be made up of students with mixed abilities. No children should be separated from main groups based on the discrimination. Appropriate activities should be planned and each student's personal needs taken into consideration. Then create an accessible environment where wheelchair, ramps, and the visible alternatives to lesson content for students with hearing impairments. Supporting should be provided to all students to assist and allow them to be their full potentiality. So this is the main features of the education. You find here examples. I find where someone is having the wheelchair, someone is disabled with some other criteria, other activities. You can find this is called in our word inclusive education, where all character of the students can be given the education and can learn education equally with the full potentiality. The importance of this inclusive education, there are a lot of importances. This is in a word, if I want to share, there is the importance is that we are treating all the kind of the children, irrespective of religion, irrespective of the ability, disability, irrespective of the genders, irrespective of the riches, the all kind of the people, students can learn together with the full stream of the education. So if finally there are some important which you can see here, it encourages the involvement of parents in the education of their children and activities of their local schools. Then if I go through a few points, it fosters a culture of respect and belongings. Then we find that it also provides opportunity to learn about and accept individual differences. This is the main importance of inclusive education. Then you find inclusive education in total, what happens in a chart we find. The full education is covered, self-confidence increases, communication with peers also develop, understanding of disability issues by society, then adaptation and integration into society, then fostering the responsiveness and understanding to children with disabilities and people with inabilities. So these are the basic features of the inclusive education. Then there are some problems which we face and which we may face in this inclusive education. We find teachers' attitude. Sometimes teachers doesn't look into the matter very deeply, neither especially for the disabled children. Then poor quality training to the teachers, the lack of teaching aids and equipment, the parents not involved, teachers and schools not supported, then many dropouts, many limitations, and then inaccessible environment, the rigid methods, rigid curriculum. So these are the problems to establish the inclusive education system. So this, if we can easily overcome this problem, we can establish the inclusive education in the society, and that's very important and the most declared system for any country, for any education systems. Then basic elements of inclusive education. What are the basic elements? If we can support this basic element, then we can solve the impairment or the obstructions of establishing the inclusive education. First one, use of teaching assistants and specialists. So for every inclusive education environment, there must have teaching assistants as well as specialists to understand the pulse of different kind of the characters. Second one, inclusive curriculum. Curriculum should be developed in such a way so that all the learners can equally gain their education. Then parental involvement, very, very important. And for myself, I want to share one point. One of the NGOs, they also gave some children, some disabled children. When I allowed them to teach in my institution, then parents started striking and shouting over the authority. Why? Is it the disabled children? Is it the institution of the disabilities? Why you have to charge these children? A lot of the points I had to face. And finally, I took, even in my institution, the wheelchair bearer also is doing the classes in my school. So I started doing that. I appreciate and rather I involve this inclusive education in my institutions. Then how can we advance inclusive education? What are the ways to make Naveen? Am I proceeding the excessive time? Can you warn me? I will take 2 minutes.
Okay, no problem. You can just.
Okay. So thank you so much, because there are some of my speakers I want to hear.
Yeah.
So how can we advance inclusive education? To make inclusive education a reality, we need to do the following. Ensure that educators have the training, flexibilities, and resources to teach students with diverse needs and learning styles. Ensure the kindergarten and schools receive adequate and sustainable financial support so that all activities and services are fully inclusive. Empower parents to assist their children's right to education in inclusive settings. These are the ways we can advance into education. Rather, the only 3 things I want to mention here for the advancement of the education. First one is parental environment. Parental environment, motivation to the parents to have the adaptability to accept the disabled and the other abnormal students. And second one, teachers must be trained how to deal with them. Third one, the social awareness among the students. These 3 things are covered, I think, into education can get studies very well. Then finally, how can I implement into education in the classroom? Cooperative learning, specialized training, adapted lessons and tasks, use diverse methods of marketing, then supplementary material. These are the elements which we can use to implement the inclusive education. So I think I have covered my lecture. In a short, I like to mention that inclusive education is the real educational model where we can incur all kind of the children irrespective of any religion, any gender, any ability, any riches. So all kind of the children can learn in the same environment with the equal facilities and the opportunities. So thank you so much, Naveen, for the scope. I believe in every school there should have that inclusive education established and to remove any kind of barrier for establishing this environment. So thank you so much. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your excellent words. You give a right option that we should have a teachers training as well to teach these kind of students. The resources should be available. Everyone should be aware of how to deal with these students. And these are the part of the society. So we have to promote all this thing and we should make this a main education stream. So you rightly pitch the right idea for this platform wherein all the teachers who are listening, they must appreciate your thoughts over the inclusive education. Thank you so much. So let's move to the next speaker directly because we are running short of time. I think let me go to. So let's move to the next speaker from Croatia, Madam Nada Ratkovic, digitalization of education. She will speak on digitalization of education. She is an assistant professor on Faculty of Economics and Business, Tourism, Split, University Split. I think I pronounced correctly. Split.
Yes, you pronounced correctly. Yes.
Croatia. Professor Advisor, VET School, SSBJJS, Stredeja Strukronova Skola Bana Josefa Jelikas in Croatia. She is a International Internship University IAU board member. She is master degree in economics, master degree in mechanical engineering. Oh wow, the combination is very very good. Assistant professor on faculty of economics, business, tourism, split, international university board member, Croatia, professor, mentor, and advisor in High Wet School. Holds PhD degree in statistics and finishing doctorate in informatics. Deserved many honorary doctorate, human rights, social right, entrepreneurship. Have a diploma as a computer informatics system expert, computer science expert, information system manager, and a designer of a ERP info system. Advisor in the National Agency of Education and Training, active council member of Croatian Society for Operation Research, and the Association of Accountant and Financial Professional. Very active educator for teachers and professor at the Center of Excellence, teacher for teachers, certified accountant and certified ISO internal auditor. Founder and coordinator of many national global projects, Erasmus and e-twinning, Scientech, STEM, entrepreneur, STG, and many various fields. I have seen your profile, ma'am, and it was 3 pages, so I could not make it to share everything on the screen. So welcome on board for this valuable inputs from your side, as you have a huge experience in informatics, in computers, economics, statistics. So over to you, ma'am, directly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I don't like to listen my TV. It sounds very to me. So let's see what will Nada say today. You know, my topic is very very wide range. Do you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. So okay. Thank you, Inga. So when we talk about digitalization in education, we can talk from many sides. So here some glimpses of my high school, my university in Split, Croatia. Here also International Internship University. Why? Because I'm very active, like a board member and a country director of Croatia. And here I need to say about him. What about this? We all teachers and trainers are in this hard time. We have, I can say, yes, we have a big role, and not only in education for our students, but in the whole life. At the beginning, I said yes, virtual education, but nothing can replace our living world. Why? Because when you see students, when you see your students and you see them look to you, you know what they are thinking. Do they understand you? And is there any problem? So we need to plan, act, and reflect. And quality education is necessary not only for our students, it is necessary for us. And we, as I said at the beginning, we are every day facing a new experience, and really don't know every time and every moment how we will solve that. And that has a big impact on whole our society. So how to teach? I would want to say, if we professors don't have skills like critical thinking, problem solving, creativity, innovativity, adaptability, we can't be good educators. And we use for quality education, our aim is quality education. And we use many tools, many techniques. So why I show this? Because I'm a professor of statistics, And when we talk about quality education, we use all these tools, all these 7 quality tools, and they are all tools from the statistics. Teachers and trainers for future. We are teachers and trainers for future, and we need to make surveys always. Why? Because we want to know, do our students have access to resources? When I said access to resources, I mean here on the resources for digital learning. Why? Because still in many countries students are online. In my country, we are in Liban. Unfortunately, I'm now at home because I'm under COVID. So I didn't work. I have a replace, a teacher who is replacing me now these days. We need to focus on the strategy. Why is it important? Because all around us, yes, digital education, digital technology is, we are talking about that topic, but I want to say that for me, it's really important today is International Day, Day of the Hugs, and we don't know, we have many students who has many violence at home. So how to teach 21st century skills, how to achieve all these competencies, media literacy, digital literacy, scientific literacy, ICT literacy. It depends about us. Before this webinar, we have also a great platform, 21st Skills, Digital Skills. Professor Uche is providing that platform. Today, what is our problem? What is always our problem when we are on the networks? Bad network. So, what's these skills? Do we have these skills? As I said, we need to provide them for our students. And you see, information technology skills is here in the middle of this pyramid. All of us here are together to learn, to share knowledge, and to engage other colleagues. Why to engage other colleagues? Because in my country, unfortunately, on this global level, there are not many people from Croatia. I can, on my fingers, I can set people who are on the global level from Croatia. How can we know what is happening all around us? How can we know what professors, what teachers are using in the classroom, or what are they learning if we are not collaborating? So digitalization in education is really necessary. What it means? It means that we use all these desktop computers and our mobiles. Everything is now today digital. And as I write, we need only one touch of the button. Only one touch of the button. And digital learning is really crucial in our education. And what is good today, and what are the main benefits of digital education? I'm not only for the digital. I'm not only for using digital, or always for using digital tools in the classroom. It depends, because we have a curriculum. Many activities we do outside of the classroom. All our projects in my country, or we are doing in, I can set in flipped classroom, because we need to achieve the curriculum. And how improve our students upgrade digital education? I can set in this project, e-twinning projects and other projects they are doing, because they are collaborating with the colleagues around Europe, and they are learning all tools, because they are doing many things. So they know the things for the e-books, for the infographics, and all I can say, it depends again about the desk and the project. We teachers, professors, here I use this because we are directed, or we are the joint teacher or learner directed, or we are learner directed. Here are three combinations. Where we can change to pedagogy, we cannot change, we can make some changes. Yes, the question is, many of us here today, yes, we have curriculum, but we change many things in teaching in this online classroom, in this online teaching. We have many digital learning methods. And what is good? Good is that the parents from the students are also great now digitally. And that is the method. Learning tools have engaged educators and parents digitally. Students make smarter, makes increased information sharing. Yes, we have many platforms. Many massive open courses, and that is, I can say, that is for me many great advantages have this digital learning. Uh, some statistics show the problem is here. Maybe we can set the culture of innovation. What is innovative? What is new now in this digital field? You see here e-learning, research computing, IT, information security, IT governance, and student success. Are all our students success? In Croatia, they have, after graduation, they have many exams. I can say that from the results, we see that this in our country, that this type of learning didn't have a bad effect on our students. So that is good, I can say, because we all were very scared what will be our students who are graduating. Just some glimpses to remember what we use everywhere. Somebody use Google Classroom, somebody use Microsoft Teams. So really different tools. We make many lessons, and I will go through a little what I use in my classroom. For recording, Screencast-O-Matic is great. If I want to show all the steps behind solving tasks in statistics, like example, I use it my students alone. Here we show that we make many researches, many different digital tools for the surveys. Whiteboard was a big problem, and for me, GeoGebra has a great whiteboard, and it is free for us. Now it is not a problem because I have a graphic tablet. Creating online charts when we make researches, that is very quickly. Many digital tools for infographic, presentations, mind maps, and others. Yes, we have many lessons from pandemic. So there are two scenarios. One is temporary disruption and back to basics. Another is New Deal for education. What is that New Deal for education? In first and another we have well-being. Well-being is very necessary, and also this using many digital tools, using this type of education. We have always students who are not really good, and that can also have a negative impact on his well-being, because he can think, why I can do that. So that is also our part to take care about that students who are not good. And always I like to say a balance between your body and your brain. In Croatia, we are a great example, like I said, a perfect example of using technology. We invest a lot for all students who didn't have the tablets. Our ministry buy for them because or laptop or the tablet. For checking your digital skills, we have a great digital tool in Europe called Selfie. And every year we go through this selfie and make and see how much our students learn through the year. So what is next? We need to take care about safe digital education because we know what is happening. Before a few days was the Safer Internet Day. Many cyberbullying is and digital empathy. So we need to care a lot about the safe digital education, and not only for Safer Internet Day, but always mention our students the digital because there are many dangerous of using this platform for digital tools. What skills needs in 2022? The challenges and advantages are machine learning and artificial intelligence. International Internship University is a great example because INU has all this courses. So it has data science, machine learning. So if you are interested, you can finish a basic course, a professional course, or advanced course for artificial intelligence or blockchain. And what's next? Next is that we need to provide all these skills for our students. And that is data literacy and cloud computing, collaborative negotiations, self-growth ability, proficiency in creativity, courage and leadership. And I know that I talk a lot, so our conclusion is that we need to empower our students to take action. And not only in this digitalization, but for all learning. Learn about the action, learn through action, and learn from action. Thank you for attention, and let's learn all together and grow together.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Nada. I think you have given everything which is required for the digital in education. You touched the cyber bullying, you touched digital citizenship, which is the need of an hour, you touched the new fields coming up in the field of computer science, and you have taken everything. I think you in 10 last 12-13 minutes you have taken each and every concept of computers wherein which is required actually.
Yes, because I said this is a very
A very vast topic. Even we can speak out for hours on these topics. So there you touched screencasting, you touched Loom, so many software you discussed. So maybe all the attendees must be listening to all these tools and they can implement it. So let's move to the next speaker directly. So I would just like to introduce the next speaker. I'll just share my screen and let's welcome the next speaker. Ma'am Ritika Anand, a Vice Principal in St. Mark's Senior Public School, Mirabah. She holds Honours Degree in Physics from Delhi University and is a postgraduate in Mathematics and English. A Microsoft Innovative Expert Educator, she is also theatre enthusiast and with a special interest in perform arts and quizzing. Ritika has collaborated with NCERT, NOIS and delivered innumerable lectures on scientific topics for upper primary, secondary and senior secondary classes and has been actively involved in content development for the classes 6 to 10 for physics. She has been resource person with CBSE COE Delhi West and has conducted innumerable sessions for thousands of teachers across the length and breadth of the country. A recipient of CBSE honor for the Excellence Teaching and Leadership Award in 2020-21, Dr. Radhakrishna Award, and many other prestigious and recognition. She has teaching experience of more than 2 decades and had an experience of 16 years in school administration. She is an accomplished educator with a progressive outlook. She believes in striking the right balance of academics and co-curricular activity. She advocates actively based learn teaching where students can feel and experience what they learn. Welcome Ms. Ritika Anand for this session, and your topic is education fees, and the piece is required for everyone nowadays because so many things are going on across the world. Russia and Ukraine, the major issue these days. So let's welcome our next speaker, Ms. Ritika Anand. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Naveen, for that wonderful introduction. And it's a pleasure to be a part of this wonderful session where speakers from all over the world have joined us, and they are sharing such pertinent, such beautiful thoughts with us. So it's my honor and a privilege to be here with all of us, and with a special mention to Matthew sir for always encouraging us and always being present for us wherever we talk on such pertinent, important issues. And the topic which you have assigned today is education for peace. And friends, there is a spiritual guru in our country. And I was listening to him this morning, and he said a beautiful thing about peace. He said that, people feel that peace is the ultimate aim of their lives, which is absolutely wrong, because peace is the most essential commodity, is the most essential value, is the most essential thing in the life of a human being. Because if you get up in the morning and if you're not peaceful, if you're having your breakfast and if you're not peaceful, if you're doing your daily chores and if you're not peaceful, then your existence becomes meaningless. So that is the value of peace in your own life. And I think somewhere we all resonate with these feelings, because ultimately what do we require according to Maslow's hierarchy? It is definitely food, water, air, and a house, and a job, and money, and of course peace of mind, spiritual peace, and peace all around us. Now, since we have just 10 minutes with us to talk about this topic, I would just say, dear friends, fellow educators, that charity begins at home. If we all as educators on our individual levels do not work on our own selves, if we do not practice certain, we don't have certain good ethos with us as educators, and if we ourselves are not peaceful beings, it will be very difficult for us to restore the culture of peace in our schools, in the society where we live in the country, and throughout the world. So charity begins at home. Working on your inner peace is important, whether it's via spirituality, whether by working on yourself, by doing yoga, or any other way where you can connect spiritually to the Almighty, to the higher power. It's important, and then only you will be able to sustain and develop a culture of peace throughout the society, the school, the community, and the world, and of course in your country. Now, education is one of the most important tools to restore world peace. And how does it happen? Now, at the school level, when the teachers teach, whether it's via online mode or via offline mode, we are always bound by the fact that I have to teach physics, I have to teach chemistry, I have to teach history, or English, or mathematics, or computers. We as educators have actually forgotten our real responsibility to educate the human spirit and the human mind to be able to understand what are conflicts, what is conflict resolution. And as a
when there is some unpleasantness in the class, suddenly the teachers become, the mediators. So we are people who know how to restore peace, but we have to do it more mindfully. That is the responsibility of an educator. And second very important thing is that, as I said, that we might teach n number of subjects and we might be under pressure to complete syllabus. Who is stopping us to understand the history of mankind? And I'm sure you all will agree with me that history of mankind is bloody. It is all smeared with blood, because there had been wars, there had been who can forget the First World War, the Second World War, whatever is happening throughout the world. If we as educators do not understand what happened in the past, and we do not educate our children through the history of mankind, then again the culture of peace cannot be established. I'm just going to share my screen for a second, because I'm just going to Naveen sir, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to take, I think I have 4 more minutes to go. So before I finish my presentation, I would want everyone to look at our history, the world history. And because I belong to India, I would definitely talk about India as well. But starting from Adolf Hitler, the man who had the power to destroy the world with his words. He could destroy the peace of the entire world. One man could do that. If we have forgotten what he did to mankind, I think we actually are sinners, because we cannot forget what this man did to history. And how do we learn from this history? This is a picture of the Auschwitz and Birkenau camps and this is an actual picture which was taken in 1944, where human beings were treated even worse than animals. They were asked to, and who doesn't remember the genocide of Jews, of millions of Jews, where they were just asked to remove their clothes, enter inside the concentration camp, and poisonous gases were thrown on their faces, and within 5 minutes you would have 1,000 men dead lying over there. If we are not reminded of this, how would we restore the culture of peace? 2 atomic bombs dropped on Japan in 1945 killed and maimed hundreds and thousands of people, and their effects are still being felt today. So education is the best weapon for peace. Peace is a mental state that should be conceptualized in our minds. The essence of education is to encourage peace. It is to teach people of the world how to work together and collaborate to solve challenges. Since the early 20th century, peace education programs around the world have represented a spectrum of focal themes, including international understanding, environmental responsibility, communication skills, non-violence, conflict resolution. And peace education programs centered on democracy postulate that with an increase in democratic participation, societies are less likely to resolve conflict through violence and war. So if we develop a culture of democracy within our schools, in our classrooms, I think the world will be heading towards a better place. And who doesn't know this man, Nelson Mandela, on your screen, who said that peace is the greatest weapon for development that any person can have. Who doesn't know Rosa Parks, an American, she was the Montgomery bus incident, we all are aware, how she was thrown out of the bus because of the color of her skin, and how she took it upon her to fight for her rights. Gautam Buddha, in words of Gautam Buddha, the spiritual, God-like figure in our country, he said that we can never obtain peace in the outer world until we make peace within ourselves. Swami Vivekananda, who talked about religion and peace. Malala Yousafzai, who said that I truly believe the only way to create global peace is through not only educating our minds, but our hearts and our souls. With guns, you can kill terrorists, but with education, you can kill terrorism. I think this would be the thought for the day. With guns, you kill terrorists, and with education, you kill terrorism. And in her words, once again, she says, why is that making tanks saying if we want to reach real peace in this world, we should start educating children. Martin Luther King Jr. says intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. And education which does not teach us to discriminate between good and bad, to assimilate the one and eschew the other, is a misnomer. And yes, I end my presentation with these beautiful words from Mother Teresa that peace begins with a smile. Let us be more tolerant. Let us have perseverance. Let us work on ourselves, our families, our communities, our countries, and the world will definitely be a better place to live in.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the wonderful words. Actually, that is required in every classroom. We talked about cyber security. We talked about, so that is again important aspects of the classroom wherein we talk about a peace. So we should teach student a peace because we are building up a global citizens now. So when we talk about a global citizen, so we have to talk about peace and other things which required. Uh, Means we should be working under all these things, the strategy. UN is working hard for this, so thank you so much for your wonderful thoughts. And we would like to invite, with this we would like to invite our next speaker, ma'am. I think my screen is visible. So ma'am Rania Lampau from Greece. She's a global educator, STEM instructor, ICT teacher trainer, neuroeducation researcher, international keynote speaker, author of scientific books for kids, and global peace ambassador in Greece. She has postgraduate degree MD in language teaching related to cognitive neurosciences, and she is also passionate researcher on cognitive neurosciences and neuroeducation. Currently, she is a STEM instructor at a Greek astronomy and space company MX of Salmes. She is also working at a Greek Ministry of Education at the Directorate of Education Technology and Innovation, where she writes STEAM projects for Greek schools. Welcome, ma'am. I have seen your bio, and it was too long to explain everyone. Otherwise, I'll take 10 minutes to explain your profile to the learner, to attendee. So thank you so much for joining us, and directly over to you for value education, another important aspects of education these days, because we are so stressful. Vilma has taken care of this, that overburden of the, so value education is again an important part of this education platform. So over to you, ma'am Raina.
So good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Me, Greece too, to all of you. I'm very excited, very honored to be here today in this very enriching event. And congratulations to all the speakers for sharing their knowledge and wisdom. Today, I have decided to talk about social values, and especially the focus will be on service learning. Service learning and volunteerism, I think it's very important, it's of crucial importance, especially during now the COVID pandemic, where everyone needs the help of others. So may I share now my presentation? Can you see now?
Yeah, we can see, ma'am.
So, accelerating socioeconomic and technological changes in recent years have brought along some social problems, since in many societies, social values could not be transferred to the new generations adequately. So, most of the increasing problems in society at home and school are closely related to values. For instance, social values, social violence, and intolerance are problems related to lack of social values. And we know that the most effective way to avoid and to decrease such problems that ruin the social order is the efficient teaching of social values. Especially during the COVID pandemic, we have seen the explosion of domestic violence, of cyberbullying, of poverty, of social unemployment, and other many problems of civil unrest.
So social values show the ideal way of thinking and acting in a society, understanding and explaining the extremely complex nature of values at national global settings is the most important condition or prerequisite to build a peaceful world. So teaching values is the most important element of social control mechanism, and teaching values is also a realistic solution for any existing or potential problems both in social and global scale. What happens so far? So far, most educational programs only aim to transfer knowledge and information, focusing on subjects. I think that we need to introduce what we call non-formal learning tools in teaching that will be able to allow the development of social emotional skills necessary for the holistic development of individuals. Non-formal learning is a participatory student-centered organized process with specific educational objectives aimed at learning skills useful in everyday life and preparing children for active citizenship roles. So the starting point of non-formal learning is the needs of participants, and special emphasis is placed on the process of learning experience. And it is also designed to both include individual and group learning with a collective approach. So the stronger sense of participation and responsibility that students acquire through the non-formal learning process enhances the sense of solidarity and engagement with social action, and therefore satisfies the need to connect the school with society as it leads to engage students with community problems. We talk about volunteer training. It is directly related to human rights, but also environmental, intercultural, and developmental education. NGOs, for instance, especially those who deal with young people, have extensive experience with these topics. So the use of non-formal learning tools, emphasizing empirical participatory experience in measure of learning, is very common there. In particular, I strongly believe that the volunteer training is something that should be integrated in the curriculum, especially in primary education. Why? Because this will help students to get acquainted with and understand issues related to volunteering, will help them to be informed about the problems of their society, to become aware of these problems, and to develop individual responsibility for social change. The help them shape values, attitudes, will help them to manage issues and affect society. And the students, of course, will find motivation and engagement. They will feel ready to act responsibly and to improve the quality of life, not only for themselves, but also of their fellow beings. They can also motivate, activate their imagination, give solutions, and engage in collective activities and collaborations. Here in Greece, I'm working in the Greek Ministry of Education, and for the first time, our minister has integrated service learning volunteers as a thematic session in a new cognitive discipline which is called Lab of Skills. So volunteerism will be one of the thematic sessions. This is a big step. So the basic principles of volunteering are here. It benefits both community volunteers, workers and people know that volunteers is a matter of choice. It promotes human rights and equality, respects the rights of the dignity and culture of all people. It's a legitimate way in which citizens can participate in the activities of society. And I would say that it's an activity that is only achieved in a non-profit context. And very important, we need citizens. We need the citizens to make the right moral and ethical choices, and especially at the ballot box, and citizens that are able to succeed in the individual pursuit of happiness. So we need to ensure that when our students leave school, the last day of their formal education, they should be ready for the real world. The students should know about laws, they should know how to vote, the importance of good health and how to maintain, about health care, about taxes, rent, etc. So we need service learning. Service learning should be a leading priority of schools because it allows students to get gain qualities such as compassion, confidence, and resilience, enabling students to obtain certain skill sets that are not directly at schools. These ways students can gain positive mindsets such as boundary-breaking mindsets through participating in service, make them aware of societal issues. I said that about boundaries because, until today in the school systems, unfortunately, students are often rewarded for following the rules and avoiding risks. And students often also strive for what we call academic breadth, but not depth. And many students find themselves caring more about passing a test than learning. So the teaching system is teaching students to stay within the boundaries. On the other hand, when we talk about meaningful change by definition can only happen when one redefines or even breaks the existing boundaries in one way or another. And the school system can teach resilience and enable students to develop a social work ethic. So in the broader perspective of national education reform, service learning is a tool for school reform. I mentioned the case of Greece also. Pennsylvania, for instance, in the USA is one of several states that have made strides in both school reform and service learning, and this provides a framework to integrate educational and social reform recommendations. So this learning is grounded in in experiential education, what we call learning by doing. Civil learning differs from, there's a difference here. It differs from pure experiential learning because the goal of service learning is to direct learners into practical settings where the primary motivation is service. Service learning must not be thought as interchangeable as before volunteerism, because both might occur either during school hours or after school. Service learning, unlike volunteerism, includes reflection. Reflection time as an integral part of its success. So, service learning includes learning by doing, by serving, and reflecting on the experience. So student empowerment is an important element in all school reform movements. Students become the doers, as we say, and take on more responsibility for their own learning. The teacher, on the other hand, rather than being the dispenser of knowledge, becomes a facilitator, more a coach. So the students, by becoming actively engaged in the needs of the community, bring back to the classroom content that becomes the basis for the classroom learning. And the responsibility for teaching students how to make ethical decisions is not reserved for philosophers or psychologists. Both this moral reason why something happened and what we should do should be taught of. So self-learning outcomes, and self-learning goals here, is a better way to do things in order to help a society. Because this will help intellectual development, such as problem solving, basic skills, acquisitions such as communication, moral ethical development, social and civic responsibility, career preparation, multicultural understanding, personal growth, and of course, it is learning to prepare students to be the volunteers of the future. For me, personally, volunteerism is a product of love and saves souls, and this is very important as a teacher because the job of the teacher is actually to guide young people, young souls on the path of their development. And the international experience that I have gained, the experience this has given me the opportunity and the honor to be awarded many prizes through the national projects. These projects are based on this volunteer message. And through this project, I had a chance to connect with other teachers from other countries where volunteering flourishes, and this fact has given me more ideas because here in Greece, unfortunately, this culture of service learning is not developed. Although in an ancient Greece, volunteerism was something that was suited the character of Greeks, when ancient times they have the fact that they had a moral obligation to help, to support and host the unknown travelers of that time in ancient Greece. So here, recently in Greece, I was appointed as an international ambassador for volunteerism and education in the Greek Academy of Volunteerism called the Help Hellas, and here my role is treaty. First of all, to help, as I said before, to integrate volunteerism in primary education, especially preschool age. My second one, to help students with special education needs, and my third role is to promote, to create altogether a support network of volunteers all around the world who would help each other and support each other and transfer all this message of volunteerism through a small country like Greece. Here you can see some pillars. We try to upgrade the image of volunteers in Greek society, to adopt holistic educational approach, to developed or incorporated in local networks of volunteers and social organizations. Here are some of my humanitarian programs that have been implemented in Africa, especially in Malawi. Here is this project, for instance, aims at raising water awareness among students who have to walk about 90 minutes to find water to drink, to help them how to sanitize their water. Another which is most implemented especially in India, and it's actually help it tries to give nutritional awareness in case of food shortage. Another one is about COVID in schools, and more recent one is about gender-based violence, which was inspired by gender-based violence in Nigeria, combined STEM education with gender-based violence awareness. And apart from this, I participate in as a volunteer. I teach STEM in the Children's Neurological Hospital, in refugee camps and in schools with students with special education needs. And for all my projects, I have received so far over 130 awards, and I was selected among the best teachers in the world for the Global Teacher Prize and Global Teacher Prize and Award, and as a global icon, etc. Thank you very much for your attention, and forgot to say that there is incredible value in being of service to others. Thank you very much.
Excellent, ma'am, excellent, and the thoughtful experiential learning and all the things which you have shared. It's absolutely required for all the teachers nowadays, and you are truly inspiring lady, and I believe that people, those who have heard you, can implement few things in their schools and they can learn few more things. Ma'am, can you stop sharing your screen? Your screen is still shared, so please.
Okay.
So please stop sharing your screen. Okay, so that's the end of the session. So I would like to thank you each and every one present here, the attendees, all the speakers, and by closing remark, I'll take a last option for taking the group photograph. So first of all, I would like to thank each and everyone who has joined. So there was a time when teacher would teach the way they had learned and with a little regard to the needs of the students. Now the time has changed. The world changed with other long-term education on its heads, promoting an agile teacher model. In this model, the teacher, be they traditional classroom teacher or a coaches, speaker or a mentor, would adapt how they taught to meet the varying student needs. So that's the motive of today's topic. Society as well changed different impacts on our education as well. Initially, school was driven by the religious interest. Eventually, it became more about government or political interest. Now, it is in most cases about ensuring our people have an advantage over the world stage. So, teacher can lead this charge by embracing the new technology. Thank you everyone. With these words, I would like to share my screen once again to thank each and every one of you for the certificate which I would like to present in presence of Mr. Matthew and all the Mr. Akas Ali. So you can just switch on your camera, Mr. Ali, the founder of GFC. So the first appreciation to Ms. Vilma da Luz Barbosa, then Professor Dr. Mohammadul Hassan, Professor Dr. Nada Ratakovic, Ma'am Ritika Anand for giving our insights on the piece. Then we have Ma'am Rania Lampau for the crease for the last speaker, and it's amazing for all this. And Mr. Akas Ali for giving us opportunity to work with GFC. So I would like to welcome Mr. Matthew. Please say some words of appreciation. You've been, and all of you can switch on your camera so that we can have a group photograph. And Mr. Matthew, sir, please give some words for all the speakers and all the attendees.
So, it's a Saturday evening and there were some multiple events going on today. But and there was so much of sharing and in-depth sharing, and every educator's experience is so unique that we can all learn from each other's experience and expertise. And that's what's the beauty of a global culture where we start learning from others. So the moment we are in a well, we don't learn from others, then we think that we are superior and we know everything. But this is a perfect platform where we always understand the differences, understand the difference, and try to incorporate what can work in our context. So thank you so much, amazing speakers, and we had a very, very good session. So thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. I think we can have more people on the camera so that we can have a good picture for the session. We have so many 45 plus participants in our session. So everyone can switch on their cameras so that we can have a very good picture.
Yeah, I think more people can switch on the camera. I can see Dr. Kalpana ma'am. I think she's joining us for the first time.
Okay.
Ma'am, you can switch on your camera so that you are on record and we are able to click a picture.
Yeah, Supriya Ban.
I'm trying, but it is undecided. So what is the technical issue from your side?
No problem, ma'am. That it happens sometimes.
You please unmute me, my camera.
All cameras and all mics are on now. It was not. I have not given a permission to switch on your camera during the session. I have given all the permission now, so you can switch on your camera right now, and you can switch on your mic as well.
Mic is on, but what about the camera? I do not understand.
I think you can just.
Okay, no issue.
No problem, ma'am.
No issue. Next time, I am here to congratulate you all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice night and good evening, good afternoon, whatever the time zone we are in.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And it was very wonderful. You are doing a great job, sir. You are making us section and getting connected to so many people.
Everyone, so a clap for everyone, those who have attended, those who have listened to us, and all the speakers, the prominent speakers.
From the wonderful people. It's a wonderful session, really.
Thank you, ma'am.
I must say that the evening is utilized.
Yes.
Evening is utilized.
Yes, ma'am, perfectly.
Okay. So, here we go. Thank you so much.